Welcome to the T&M video series. This video will describe how to use FHWA's Automated Consistency Test Suite. The ACTS streamlines the process of comparing FHWA traffic noise model results with results from another noise model to determine if there is consistency in acoustical methodology. The ACTS can be used to compare studies from any noise model that can provide study details and results in the XML format used by T&M. Additionally, the ACTS can be used to compare studies conducted in different versions of T&M or various T&M studies conducted in the same version of T&M. The latest suite of T&M inputs to the ACTS is available on the CTS webpage. These files provide an example of the data format required by the ACTS for the second noise model. The ACTS compares inputs and results from both models and reports where the models match and where there are differences. If the second model is not T&M, the inputs between the models are the same, and the results are within the FHWA specified tolerance between the two models, then the algorithms in the second noise model are considered to be consistent with the algorithms in T&M. If the ACTS determines the second noise model to be consistent with T&M, please submit your complete files and analysis to the FHWA for review and approval so it can be used to analyze federal aid highway projects under 23 CFR 772.9. The ACTS is divided into 5 sections: the menu bar, the input method selector, the T&M study selector, the other software study selector, and the section pertaining to output data and messages. The tool menu in the menu bar contains an option to close the program. The help menu in the menu bar contains options to open a window containing information on the current version of the ACTS or the user's guide. To begin a comparison analysis, enter the software version number above the study list for both T&M and the second noise model. The version numbers entered in the interface will be compared against the version numbers read from the XML files as part of the analysis output to validate that the user selected the correct input files for each study list. For example, if the user inputs T&M version 3.0 in the software field, but the ACTS reads T&M version 3.1 from the XML file, the ACTS will report a consistency failure upon analysis. The input method section allows the user to select batch mode, where a folder of studies from each model may be selected for comparison, or file mode, where specific studies may be selected for comparison. Note that the study lists for both noise models must be empty in order to switch between input methods. When using the batch mode, the studies from both noise models should be stored in separate folders, each containing identically named contents to facilitate comparison. The ACTS will open all studies from the selected parent folder, as well as from any subfolders within it. When using the file mode, note the differing file paths for each selected study as the study list populates in order of selection. Select multiple studies at once by holding down the Control key on the keyboard. Comparisons between studies are implemented in the list order shown in the number column, regardless of study names. To change the study list order, select the desired study to move, then shift its position using the arrow icons to the right of the study list. Click the trash can icon to remove the highlighted study from the study list. Click the Clear List button to remove all studies from the study list at once. If the study list lengths are uneven between the two noise models, any additional studies in the other software study list without a T&M study to compare against will be ignored. But any additional studies in the T&M study list without a comparison study from the other noise model will result in a consistency failure upon analysis. Click the ellipses next to the output location file path to choose the directory for the analysis results. Choosing a valid file path will enable the Start Analysis and Open Output folder buttons. Click the Start Analysis button to initiate comparisons of the inputs and outputs between the two noise models for each study. A dialog window with the status of the consistency tests will be displayed. The yellow symbol indicates that the analysis is underway. The message box updates while the analysis is running to display the details of each comparison. Note that this box contains information for all analyses conducted while the program is open and can only be cleared by restarting the application. When the analysis completes, the symbol in the dialog window will update to green or red, indicating a passed or failed consistency test result, respectively. Click the Open Output Folder button to view detailed results. Note that the date and time is included in the output file name. The output file consists of a single summary tab and a results tab for each comparison. For all tabs, items that pass the consistency test are marked with a green yes, whereas those that fail are marked with a red no. Ignored other software studies without a T&M study to compare against are marked with a black NA. If there is an input mismatch for any comparison, the output file will also contain a tab for those details. The geometry of all objects, as well as EFR values, traffic data, pavement type, barriers for abatement, and receiver names must match between studies in order to facilitate analysis of noise level results. Note that in order for the noise level results to pass the consistency test, they must be within the tolerance of 0.5 dB. In the Results or Input Mismatch tabs, click Back to Summary in cell A1 to open the Summary tab. Click on an underlined yes or no consistency determination in the Summary tab to open the Spreadsheet tab containing the details for that consistency check. For more information on the ACTS, visit the T&M Consistency Test Suite website.